morning. Welcome to this morning's service. I hope you're all enjoying a nice, relaxing Sunday morning. Not too overly excited about Super Bowl, which apparently is taking place today. It's a big deal. Maybe in some of your homes you're going through some great preparations for the Super Bowl today. But kind of amazing. Well, I don't know if it's amazing so much as it is very. The Olympics is going on, and we're also seeing the Super Bowl. The announcers are saying once in a lifetime, and maybe it is once in a lifetime. This a convergence of the Winter Olympics with the Super Bowl, the same Sunday as Super Bowl. But a lot of things going on. Thank you for joining us this morning for today's service. We'll begin with the reading of Sambujo and Juseige. So please join us in the reading. Will you please join now in the reading of the Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Again, good morning. Welcome to this morning service. Again, exciting times. Today is also was the Olympics, and it's the Super Bowl. And just as importantly, it is also something that is celebrated throughout our country. It is Boy Scout Sunday. So the Boy Scouts are preparing for their service, which will be during the 10:10 service time. And we'll have a special Boy Scout Sunday presentation during the service. So there's a lot of things going on. With the Olympics, we're having controversies taking place again. Doesn't seem that an Olympic goes by without some kind of controversy. But there's also so many individuals involved with the Olympics. And hearing their stories is so, I want to say, inspiring. Certainly, I think that would be a good word to describe how I feel about when I hear these stories. But people who have worked so hard, and sometimes coming out of very difficult circumstances. They may not have had the kind of support that they would have had. Maybe they came out of a very small community and had to practice on a small rink in their town. But they practiced and they worked hard, and they had this dream of being able to one day be on the Olympic stage. And they continue to work at that. For some of them, they have had tragedies in their lives, family members passing away, while in this preparation for the Olympics. And being able to work through that, being able to certainly grieve at the death of someone that they that was such an important part of their lives, but able to work through and take maybe inspiration from what they shared with that family member. So many stories of people expressing their gratitude for the support that they received. That I'm sure some of the athletes feel, I did this, I am an Olympian in my field, and now I'm on this world stage, and people help me, thank you very much, but I am the one who who is doing this performance. But there are those also who, are truly moved by the amount of support that they receive in order to get to that place, to this Olympics. The interview after Michaela Schifrin fell on her second, I think it was the slalom, her second event, and she had already crashed in the first event, and the second event, she also crashed. And I think this is the third, end of the third event. And you know how they interview some of these athletes as they come off the mountain or after they complete their event. And what she said was so, she said, I don't deserve the amount of concern and support that she received through email or through conversations, and how much she really felt that let down by her own performance, but that people literally from around the world contacted her, and supported her, and she felt truly grateful for that. When we think about our own lives, we're not on the Olympic stage, but well, I'm not on the Olympic stage. But someday maybe you might be. You might be like Nathan Chen and take up ice skating, and maybe you might be on the Olympic stage at some point. But maybe not Olympics. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you become a teacher, or maybe become a nurse or a doctor. But somebody in your life, there are people who will help, will be a part of your journey. And no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstances are, there are people who are around you. And we might not recognize who they are, but there are people who are constantly there, who in some way or another are providing you with that kind of support. Sometimes it's unwelcomed. There's something that maybe they scold you about, or maybe they say, yeah, you're not supposed to be doing that. And we might feel anger or disappointment in the other person, or maybe in ourselves. And it may not seem like something that is supportive. But if we can think about how we're affected, and then it might help us to better understand ourselves and what we are able to do through the connections that, because of the connections that we share with the life around us. None of us, I think Daniel, it was Daniel that said, if it's difficult to see one's own faults. So when we hear someone mention something, we should pay attention. Sometimes we don't want to see what we lack, what we don't have, the abilities that we kind of fall short in. And to take that advice and to kind of rethink how we might see ourselves or think about ourselves. The relationship that we share with the world around us, is something that we often take for granted. And when I heard these athletes express how much they appreciate and how much their lives and their abilities or their skills are the result of the work and support that they received throughout their career. Again, kind of, for me anyway, inspiring to hear that from these athletes that are at the top of their career, and to be able to say how much they appreciate the support that they receive, even in a time of of what we would think of as failure. And certainly not coming down a hill, not completing a race, a failure would be thought of as a failure by that athlete. But at the same time, recognizing how much they have received that has contributed to their place in the Olympics. As we continue to watch, this will be another week of Olympics. You may be getting tired, you want to go back to the old channel again, but it really is interesting. It is once every 4 years that we see these Winter Olympics, and it was disrupted because of the pandemic, and the Summer Olympics was postponed, but in these times, as we kind of shelter in place, and we're hearing about the possibility that maybe we might start opening up. But while we are in here, in this sheltering, we're mindful of the people around us. And for that reason, we do the things that can help one another. We may not realize how much how our actions affect the world around us, and how much of the world contributes to my ability to live my life. Regardless, though, we are grateful for the many causes and conditions that make our lives possible. Again, when I was simply watching these athletes as they come down out of their event and they're interviewed by these reporters, I'm always kind of impressed, inspired by these athletes who acknowledge the many individuals who make their presence at the Olympics possible, and express their gratitude for that. Anyway, thank you for joining us this morning for today's service. Hope you are safe and well, and that taking the precautions that will continue to keep us healthy. Okay, thank you very much. As we conclude, will you please join in Gassho and then Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. We'll conclude with the Gatha in Lumbini's garden. Again, thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Softly blew the breezes on the glorious morn. In Lumbini's garden, where the Lord was born. From the earth turned flowers, virgin warblers sang, while through earth and heaven strains of music rang. Gods and men and angels, all for worship came. Glory to Lord Buddha, glory to his name.
Find it, but it's not.
Hello, my name is Patrick Ogawa, and I will be your chairperson for today's Scout Sunday service. Welcome to Scouts from San Jose Troop 201, Pack 611, and Troop 611. We'll start the program with the Sangha reading, which is a description of the Buddhist Scout.
The duty of Buddhist Scouts is to lead themselves through life wisely and well, and to help others, also to find happiness and joy in life, for joy and happiness are not found everywhere. The Buddhist Scout trains himself to read the signs of life, and then he guides his fellow man to happiness that came along.
Rinban Sakamoto will now lead us in meditation, followed by sutra chanting Juseige. Rinban Sakamoto will now lead us in the Golden Chain and Three Treasures.
The Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
We will now have a Dharma lesson from Rinban Sakamoto.
Good morning. Today is Boy Scout Sunday, and it is a time in which all scouts throughout the country gather together in their places of religious connections and participate in this Boy Scout Sunday. Now, I think it may be, it's either this week or last week that the official Boy Scout Sunday. I know when we were able to meet together in person, our troop would often take turns with San Francisco Buddhist Temple, and I think it's San Mateo Buddhist Temple, and they would rotate the Boy Scout Sunday, and they would visit San Francisco or San Mateo, and they on different years, and come back here to San Jose. And then, in addition to that Boy Scout Sunday service, we would have a Boy Scout Sunday here at service here at the Betsuin. But now, of course, we're having to observe or to participate in this Boy Scout Sunday virtually, which is kind of nice because now you're spread out wherever you are, able to participate, still able to participate in Boy Scout Sunday. Scouting has been an important part of the temple for a very long time. Last night we had our 53rd blue and gold activity. That was blue and gold activity. Normally it's blue and gold dinner, and I was reminded that our first 611 leader was Mr. Earl Santo, who, and the legend has it, and I'm not sure, I don't know if this is actually true anymore, but legend has it that at that time when the troop was being organized, there were 6 11-year-olds, and so we have the number 611. That's where our 611 comes from. But scouting has been such an important part of what we do at the Betsuin. The relationship between the scout troops and the Betsuin is very, very deep. We have actually the temple is the chartering organization of Troop 611, and also chartering organizations for the Girl Scout troops as well. But as a chartering organization, we simply provide a place and support that the 611 needs. And in return, 611 tries to help the Betsuin in ways that they can. So it's actually the 611 is, although deeply a part of the Betsuin, they're a Boy Scout troop, and so they're a part of the Boy Scout organization. And our relationship with 611 is as a charting organization. But through the years, we've benefited so much by the leadership that has been provided by the Scoutmasters and the assistant Scoutmasters and all of the Scouts that have participated or enjoyed the activities of Boy Scouting here at the Betsuin. One of my first memories of coming to the Betsuin, so this is a long time ago now, but one of the first memories that I have is when Mr. Kawamata, at that time, it was so long ago, I don't even think we had cell phones. No, it wasn't quite that long ago. Did we have cell phones? 86? Did we have cell phones back then? Well, I don't know. Anyway, so Mr. Kawamata said, I saw him either at maybe it was a Sunday service or something. He said, do you have uniform? I said, what? I didn't know what he was talking about. But he said, do you have a uniform? I said, no. And so he said, okay. And I think he must have been maybe he was a Cub Master at that time. But he said, okay. So he got me a Scout uniform with blue tabs on it. Because he had heard that I had been involved in scouting and that I was an Eagle Scout, and so he made sure to welcome me and to be sure that I was able to be involved with scouting here at the Betsuin. But yeah, that was one of the first things I remember that greeted by Mr. Kawamata. Of course, there are many other things too that, leadership and the welcoming of all of the BWA members and all of that, and the membership as a whole. But this, in relationship to my scouting here at the Betsuin, Mr. Kawamata's first question: do you have a uniform? That uniform now? I don't know. It's been in my closet for a while. I still have that uniform, and somehow I don't know, but the uniform is shrinking. It doesn't fit quite as well as it used to. So it must be shrinking material somehow affected by the weather in my closet that no longer able to fit in that uniform. But over the years, my own experience with scouting has been very important. To the temple that I used to go to as a youth was where the troop that I belonged to, Troop 151, although no longer that the troop is no longer there anymore. It has been the unit has been disbanded. But growing up, it was 151 that was a troop that I belonged to. and we were nothing like 611. I think we had 12 scouts. That was a heyday. That was our big. I know some of our what is it? Not. I can't remember now. Not patrols. That's right. Some of our patrols here have more than 12 members. Our whole scouting had the troop had 12 scouts in it, and I was Eagle patrol, and we used to go to activities much like you do today. Go on hikes and go camping and to makahiki. We used to go to, which is kind of like, what do they call it here? Jamboree. But Oahu, not Oahu, but Hawaii is an island state, and so very difficult to go to other places and participate in these large events. But we would have our annual state makahiki, where all of the troops in the state would gather together and have a camp out. And the one I remember most was camping in Diamond Head. Well, Diamond Head is a famous landmark in Hawaii. That's actually a dormant, I don't know, maybe extinct now, but volcano. And it's a crater that I think it's the FAA has a station inside the crater of Diamond Head. But we were allowed to have our makahiki there inside the crater of Diamond Head. The one that I was such a anyway, at that time, we didn't have like nylon kind of tents that we could easily assemble. We used to use old army surplus pup tents, and that's what we would carry with us when we went camping. And these were like canvas tents that you have to roll up, and they're heavy, and the stakes are, but it built character, and so it was good to have those kinds of experiences. But I was such a mendokusai. I told my mother I wanted to have I wanted a tent, and so she didn't know what to do, and so finally she figured out that she would make the tent with denim and then rub wax on it, which is basically what those military pup tents were like. And these military pup tents were surplus from the Korean War, and so they were heavy again, kind of wax canvas material, and I wanted something lighter. So the high tech of that time was a denim material that my mother put wax on, and we used that as to camp in. But those experiences, I was concerned about what I needed or I wanted, and there were all kinds of people around that provided me or supported me in being able to do the things that I wanted to do or what I tried to do. For the merit badges that, back then you still needed 21 merit badges. There are all kinds of new merit badges now that I have no idea what they're about. But one of the merit badges, I had to make a radio. And so one of my mom's friends kind of tinkered with electronics. And at that time, it wasn't transistors, but you would actually use tubes to put things together. Nowadays, if you put together a stereo system with tubes, that's high end. But at that time, putting a radio together using tubes was something that, you had to use that. But I remember using an old senbei can. So they still make these. It's a metal, kind of like a tin can with has a lid on it. And for us, that can held senbei. Nowadays, you have cookies or those kinds of things in it. But it was the senbei can that we used as the chassis for building this radio. And it was a really fun thing to do. But here again, the person who helped me with this merit badge was somebody that my mother knew and who was willing to work with me to work through this merit badge. Nowadays, I don't know if you could even get tubes to make a radio. And if you did, it'd probably be a high-end radio. But all of these experiences, thinking about the many people who helped me to kind of earn these merit badges that eventually ended up with my being able to be recognized as an eagle. There's so many people involved. My Sangha, we had Sangha at that time too. And my Sangha teacher was not the minister. Reverend Okano, I think, was at that time the minister at the temple, not the son who came in after his father, but the father, Ryoshi Okano, spoke very little English. So I had to find a teacher to help me through Sangha, and studied with him for a little while, and then was able to receive that Sangha recognition. And I don't think it was called Sangha at that time. I think Sangha actually came much later, but it was a religious award that I needed to study with a teacher and in order to receive that award. So many people, 21 merit badges, and all of you know, those of you who are working on, and I hope all of you are working on that, on your merit badges. It requires so many people, right? And not just those instructors for those particular merit badges, but all of the other people that come together that make that possible. It's not possible for us to do these things without the support of people around us. We are able to make our way through the world, not just only in scouting, but in everything that we do. There are countless numbers of causes and conditions that make our lives possible. Even if we were to be able to live by ourselves on a deserted island somewhere and finally have our time for ourselves. If you think about it, living on a deserted island, you probably no internet, probably no YouTube, no internet, all of those kinds of things that we would kind of normally take for granted wouldn't be around. It doesn't sound like such a good idea being all alone. It would be fun at first maybe to be by yourself and do what you want to do until you got hungry. Then you have to go look for food. No refrigerator, no grocery store, no 7-Eleven. So many things that we kind of think about when we think about supports our lives, support our ability to do things. 611 has been an important part for such a long time of the Betsuin. Sometimes we don't really think about it, but when we do, I think we realize how much we, the Betsuin, has benefited from 611, and hopefully 611 feels the same way about its relationship with the Betsuin. With so many leaders, so many parents and scouts who were scouts that are now leaders, so many people involved with what happens here in 611 at the Betsuin. If we are mindful of that relationship, if we are mindful of the causes and conditions, we can express our gratitude and appreciation for all the leaders and teachers and supporters and parents who make our experience of scouting here at the Betsuin possible. Today, as we think about Boy Scout Sunday, we come together throughout the country. Everybody is gathering in their place, their churches and their temples, their synagogues, their places of worship, mindful of the relationship between their organization and their churches or places that they gather. Some troops are not associated with, I think probably most are not associated with a religious group. Many are associated with, other kinds of schools or fire departments or police stations. And there are a lot of different other kinds of organizations that act as a chartering organization. But on this Sunday, people gather together, regardless of their affiliation, gather together in their places of worship, to be mindful that there is more to our lives than just the kinds of things that I am capable of doing, but that we are supported by the life around us, to be mindful of that, and hopefully to express our gratitude for all the causes and conditions that make our lives possible. I know when I think about my experience in scouting, people say, oh yeah, he's an Eagle Scout. That's okay, but that was possible only because of so many others that worked, that supported, that guided me. And I was not so easy to guide. I did not take opinions very well. But somehow managed to complete what was required. As we participate in today's Boy Scout Sunday, the relationship between the Betsuin and 611. We are simply the charting organization of 611, but we are also have received so much as a result of that relationship. And the Betsuin is certainly grateful for the leadership, the effort that is made by 611 to honor that relationship and to provide what they can to support the Betsuin. To the parents, to the leaders, to the scouts, thank you in behalf of the Betsuin for your continued relationship, nurturing, taking care of that relationship with the Betsuin. Thank you very much for that. Okay, hope you are all safe and well. Thank you very much for being a part of today's Boy Scout Sunday.
Now we will have the awards presentation. The word metta is a Buddhist term meaning loving kindness and goodwill. This word was selected as the name for the Cub Scout Religious Award with the hope of nurturing boys who relate to all the animate and inanimate things with loving kindness and goodwill in their hearts. The following scouts from Cub Scout Pack 611 have earned the Metta Award. Aaron Kai Fong, Bryson Oshidari, Blake Sakurai, Tyler Tao, Todd Tokumoto, and Trevor Uehara. This concludes today's Scout Sunday service. Now, Rinban Sakamoto will close today's Scout Sunday service with Gassho.
Thank you very much, everyone, for your participation in today's Scout Sunday. As we conclude, will you please join in Gassho and Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Next week is Nirvana Day, I believe. So please join us for the Nirvana Day service. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
はようございます。サンノジェベツインの日本語法座にようこそお参りくださいました。今日は2月の13日の日曜日でありまして、毎月ね、この第2週目の日曜日にこうして、日本語の法座をさせていただいております。2月と言いますと、今月はすごくね、いろんなイベントが多いと思います。オリンピックもね、今もやってますし、そしてスーパーボールもね重なってすごく賑やかな今日一日だと思いますけれども、また先ほども言いましたように2月は明日はバレンタインデーでもありますし、お寺の行事で言いますとね、ニルバーナデーって言って涅槃へ、ね、仏様がお釈迦様が、お悟りを開かれた日っていうのもね、お祝いする行事もございます。2月はいろんな行事がございますので、皆さんねそれぞれ楽しくお過ごしだと思います。今日のお務めは、三部城、重生下のお経をお唱えいたします。その後、来三問という、5問を読みます。そして、ご法話を少しさせていただきます。お願いします。 りがとうございます。そうしましたら、ご一緒に来三問という、5問を、拝読させていただきたいと思います。では合唱をお願いいたします。人参受けがたし、今すでに受く。仏法聞きがたし、今すでに聞く。好み根性に向かってどせずんば。さらにいずれの章に向かってか好みをどせん。大衆もろともに、四神に参謀に帰し立てまつるべし。自ら仏に帰し立てまつる。まさに願わくば、主情とともに、大道を大義して無常意を起こさん。自ら法に帰し立てまつる。まさに願わくば、主情とともに、深く胸像に入りて、知恵海のごとくならん。自ら僧に帰し立てまつる。まさに願わくば、主情とともに、大衆を通りして、一切無下ならん。無常人人未明の方は、百千万号にも相合うことかたし。我今検問し、自治することを得たり、願わくは、如来の真実義を下し立てまつらん。ナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツ。ありがとうございます。そうしましたら少しね、仏様のお話をさせていただこうと思います。浄土真宗の開祖と言われる、親鸞上人様がですね、90年のご生涯の中で、阿弥陀様の願い、そして南無阿弥陀仏を自分の人生の中心に置いて、ね、ご本尊として多くの方と一緒に、その心のね、命の支えとして、大切に聞いてこられたのがこの浄土真宗の教えであります。このお寺の真ん中に、お飾りしている、ね、お木像がありますけれども、それがね、阿弥陀如来様という仏様のお姿であります。このね、三の瀬別院では、立っていらっしゃる仏様、ね、金色のお体されて立ってこちらを見ていらっしゃる、そういうお姿をされている仏様でありますけれども、宗派によっては座ってらっしゃる方も、座ってらっしゃる阿弥陀様もいらっしゃれば、いろんなお姿、ね、それは何を表していらっしゃるかというと、仏様の私たちへのお心っていうところがその姿に現れているというふうに言われています。そのお木像だけじゃなくって、他のね、同じ浄土真宗でも、南無阿弥陀仏漢字6字を、ね、なんていうかな、スクロールなんて言いますかね、日本語ちょっと分からなくなっちゃったんですけれども、ちょっと待ってね、お掛け軸ですね。お掛け軸に、南無阿弥陀仏って書いてあるのを、ね、このお寺の真ん中に、お飾りして、大切に、してご本尊としてね、お飾りしているお寺もございます。一番真ん中に、ね、そして一番大きく、お飾りしているということなので、このお寺の中で一番大切で中心となるものとして私たちは大切にしています。先ほどからご本尊というふうにね、たくさん言いましたけれども、ね、それはご本尊というふうに言います、ね、こういう漢字を書きますね。ご本尊、尊敬語でご本尊というふうに言いますけれども、本当に尊いもの、根本となる尊ぶべきものっていうものがこのお寺では阿弥陀様、ね、のお姿、そして南無阿弥陀仏ですよということで、私たちのお寺の真ん中にね、お飾りさせていただいていますけれども、これはその阿弥陀様のお姿が金色だからなんでしょうかね。金箔を貼って、本当に荘厳なお姿だからでしょうか。またすごいね、彫刻家の方がこう彫ってくださったからご本尊なんでしょうか。 またはたまたこのおかげ軸だったら、すごく立派な方が書いてくださったから、ご本尊というふうに言われているんでしょうか。そういうわけではないですね。そういう物質的な芸術的な価値ももちろんあるものもありますけれども、どちらかというとこの仏様のお姿、そして南無阿弥陀仏のおかげ軸の持つ芸術的な価値というよりは、この仏様がこの私とどのような関係があるのかというところ、そういうお心だったり、そういうね意味的な価値をね聞かせていただくところに、だからこの阿弥陀様っていう仏様はご本尊なんだな、大切にすべきものなんだなっていうことにねうなずいていけるのではないかなと思います。皆さんにとってね、逆にこのご本尊といえるもの、皆さんの人生にとって大事なもの、一番大切なものというのは、どういうものがあるでしょうか。突然こういうふうなことを聞かれてもどうかなってねいろいろ考えられると思いますけれども、例えばねいろんなことをお答えになる方もいらっしゃると思います。家族が一番大切とか、お友達、友情、健康もそうです。そしてお仕事も大事です。お金、そして愛、お酒も大事、そして若さも大事。私はもうそれももちろん大事だけど、韓国ドラマ大好きだから韓国ドラマも大事だし、おいしいご飯もね大好きだから大切ですし、お風呂ね、日本から離れて2年半になりますけれども、お風呂がねすごく恋しく思います。いろんなことが自分の人生の中で大切なものでね、皆さん持っておられると思います。みんなそれぞれね、それぞれがそれぞれの自分の大事なものを持っておられると思います。何がいいとか悪いというのは決めることはね私はできません。ところで皆さんが思うその大事なものたくさんありますよね。その大事なものは逆に皆さんのことを大事にしてくれているでしょうか。どんな時のね皆さんあなたであっても大切にしてくれるでしょうか。私たちの人生はいろんな場面があります。うまくいっている時もあればうまくいかない時もあります。自分が大事だって思って信じて一生懸命この手に握りしめてきたものが突然ある日そっぽを向いてしまうこともあります。それこそ自分自身ですら自分のことを大切にできない時も来るかもしれません。今日まで大事に握って一生懸命生きてきたものが、次の瞬間通用すると信じて、また通用すると信じてきたけれども、明日ですら次の瞬間ですら約束されていない私たちでありますから、何が起こるか、どんな身の振る舞いをするかどうかも全く分かりません。そのような時の私、自分自身がたとえ自分のことを大事に思えない、そういう時であってもその私のことを、大切に抱いてくださるのが南無阿弥陀仏、阿弥陀如来様、阿弥陀様なんです。いつでもどんなことがあってもあなたのことを一りぼっちにはさせませんよ。どんなことがあっても、浄土の仏に生まれさせますよ。なぜなら私にとってあなたが一番大事だからですよ。というふうに働き続けてくださっているのが仏様、阿弥陀様であります。私のこと、みんな一人一人のことを一番大切だって思ってくださっている仏様。私が仏様のことを大切だって思っていなくってもあなたが大切なんだよっておっしゃってくださるのが仏様です。南無阿弥陀仏、すべてはこの私のことが一番大切だっていうふうに案じてくださるそのお心を聞かせていただくことが大切であります。この仏様、阿弥陀様というのは実は元から仏様であったわけではないんですね。最初は、菩薩様っていう仏様の位に一つ下がったと、修行僧みたいな修行をされた時期があったんですけれども、その段階の時ですね、私たちのこの悩みながら生きるその、 様子をずっとご覧になってたんでしょうね。放っておけなかったんでしょうね。どうにかしてこの人たち、このものすべて、このね悩みながら生きる者たちをこうね安らかに、命に生まれていけるようにということでね、48の願いを立ててくださったわけなんです。それがお経の中でね説かれているわけなんですが、その48の願い一つ一つにねこんな風に誓ってくださっています。私が仏になろうとするとき、それぞれね48の願いが完成しないでその通りにならなかったら、私は仏になりません。どんなことがあっても何としてでもその願いの通りに実現させますというふうに決意を込めてですね、約束を48個してくださったわけです。その48つあるわけなんですが、3つ目のね願いの中にしっかり金色の願っていうのがあります。みんなことごとく金色の命、ね、金色に輝く光、輝く命に生まれさせますよ。私が仏になるときに全ての命が金色に光り輝くことがないようだったら、私は決して悟りを開きませんよっていうふうに約束をしてくださいました。そして、一生懸命その願いを、きちんと形になるように一生懸命もう気が遠くなるほどね、考えてそして、修行を、修行を、収めてくださって、今こうして、約束通りに阿弥陀様という仏様に、ね、なっておられます、仏様になっておられるということはどういうことかというと、その約束通りになっているということなんですね。阿弥陀様の悟りの仏ではみんな等しく金色に輝く命なんですよっていうところです。でも私は赤が好きなんだけどな、青が好きなのになんで金色に輝く命なんだってねおっしゃる方もおられるかもしれません。これはねこの願いの中で、表される金色、金色っていうのは金のね2つの特徴をから願いがね込められているわけなんです。一つには金っていうのは、価値が高いっていう意味がありますよね。すごく価値が高いですよね。二つ目には金というのはですね、いつまでも朽ちたり色あせたりすることなく価値が変わらないっていうところ、一つは価値が高い、そして2つ目は価値が変わらない、変わることなく価値が高いまんまの命ですよ。仏様になられたからには、あなたの命、いつまでも変わることなく価値ある輝く命として光らせよう、輝かせようということをね、願ってくださっています。私たちの生きる、この世界ではどうでしょうか。みんながみんな素晴らしいねって言い合えるような世界ではなかなかないかなっていうふうに思いますね。私たちの世界では区別をして、お互いを区別をして、生きています。自分にとって、私にとって都合のいい命、私にとって都合の悪い命っていうふうに、いろんなふうにね、分けていって区別をして、都合の悪い命にはなるべく近づかないように排除しよう、遠ざけようとするのが、この世界、私の在り方じゃないかな。自分ですらいい悪い、今日の私よかった、今日の私はダメだったっていうふうにね区別したりね、自分のことを時には大切にできない、そういう時もあります。私もね自分と他人を比べてしまってね、今日ダメだったなとかね、なんで私ダメなんだろうかっていうふうにね、考えてしまう時もあります。私たちはこの他者のね評価によっても苦しむことがありますし、また自分で自分のことを評価して、自分のことを苦しめてしまう時もあるかもしれませんね。だからこそお仏壇があるっていうのは そしてお仏壇がねお家にあるっていうのはねありがたいことじゃないかなってすごい私思うんですよね。阿弥陀様仏様のことをね大事にさせていただける、ね、拝ませていただける場所がある。このお仏壇の前だったら、ね、仏様の阿弥陀様の前だったら世間のこういうね一切の評価を離れてみんなが等しく金色に輝く命だよっていうふうにね何度も何度も聞かせていただけます。私たちはありのままの私で輝く命と聞かせていただけます。このありのままのこの私を抱いておってくださる。生きている私も、ね、いつ死んでいくかわからないけど死んでいく私も、ね、その切ないまでに、大事に願ってくださる仏様の働きの中で生かされる私であります。そういうねそういう方を間近に思いながら手が合わせる場所がお家にあるというのはすごくありがたいことじゃないかな、ね、私がありのままでおられる居場所があるっていうことじゃないかなって思います。幸せなことじゃないかなと思います。でもお仏壇だけではないですね。いつでもどこでも何をしている時でもですね、この私の口から何万ダブ何万ダブとこう出てくださっている、ね、声の仏様となって私に聞こえる仏様となって、南無阿弥陀仏とこの耳に聞こえる仏様となって私と共におってくださる。安心しなさい。あなたのそのありのままを分かっておりますよ。受け止めておるよ。安心しなさい。あなたのその痛み苦悩を分かっているよというふうにねおっしゃる仏様であります。それはいつでもね仏様の前だけじゃなくって何万打仏とお念仏もその中に私が私でおられる安心できる居場所が与えられるということだと思います。もちろん、ね、この世の中で生きていく中でね、一番大切なもの価値があるものっていうものを持っているのはすごく豊かなことだと思います。自分を豊かにしてくれますし人生もね豊かにしてくれますけれども私たちの持っているものには限りがありますしこう、ね、平等ではありません、ね、でもどんな時でもこの命を一番あなたが大事ですよってね思って大事に案じてくださるその働きに生かされているんだったなってね気づいていくところに、ね、本当の豊かさがあるのではないかなと思います。皆さんもねこれからも皆さんと一緒に私は人生にとって、ご本尊って何かなってね仏様の願いを聞かせていただくときはねいろいろこう大切なものあるかと思いますけど、ね、できればね仏様の方に、ね、お心をね向けていただければなというふうに思います、はい、ありがとうございます、今月はね、今日この13日、第2日曜日にお話をさせていただきました。来月3月はですね、ちょっと第2日曜日がお寺のサービス特別なサービスと重なってしまっておりまして放送がねご法座ができませんので4月の10日に同じように第2週目4月の10日に11時からまた同じようにご法座をさせていただきます。また皆様でご参加いただければと思います。ありがとうございます。それではご一緒に合唱でこのご法座を締めさせていただきたいと思います。合唱お願いいたします。ナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツ。ありがとうございました。